103 tested over the last 24 hours. 447 people have tested positive. This now pushes our cumulative number of positive cases to nearly 9,000, standing at 8,975. The total number of tested samples to date have now gone over the 200,000 figure to 200,311. And from today's positive cases, Mombasa has an additional 14. This should not make us afraid, neither should it make us complacent. What we know is that if we take the measures that the Ministry of Health has told everybody, then we know that in spite of the many numbers, we are still going to be safe. We should not be complacent, and on the contrary, it should stir the Mombasa people to a higher level of vigilance, even though you only have 14. As for the gender distribution, the amazing thing still continues to be that we men are much more affected by this disease than our female sisters, mothers, and grandmothers. Today, for example, out of the figure that I have said, 282 positive cases are men, while 167 are women. While by age, we have a one-year-old infant who was tested positive, and an 88-year-old also. And the infant cases that we have been experiencing explain to us maybe why women are much more careful, particularly young mothers, those who have got kids that are breastfeeding. It is absolutely critical that you take measures to protect infants. These measures include ensuring that you have got your mask on, particularly if you are not certain about your status. It also means discouraging visitors from coming to the homes. It means discouraging people from our usual tradition, where the village comes to greet a young infant. As soon as a young infant has arrived at home, we all know what we do. Kina mama wanajaa huko hiyo nyumba kumsalimia mgeni. Sisi tunaelewa hiyo ni Kiafrika. Lakini jameni, wakati huu wewe goja kidogo huyo mgeni apate nguvu kidogo, ndio sasa wewe uende ukatembee. Hata M-Pesa ni sawa. Tuma M-Pesa hiyo itoshe kwa wakati huu, kwa sababu we need to protect infants, and we are getting increasing numbers of infants, and that can only mean it is because of the practices that we usually have. And I would like us to appreciate that at this moment in time, it is difficult for us to continue with some of those practices. But I'm also delighted to inform you that we have also discharged 64 patients from our hospitals, bringing now the number of recoveries to 2,657. In Mombasa County, 738 people have recovered from the disease, and 335 are currently on home-based care. And I want again to congratulate the Mombasa County government and the Department of Health for the way they have embraced this issue of home care with a lot of zeal and a lot of efficiency and ability. Congratulations for doing so. I want to commend all the healthcare workers for the recoveries that we are experiencing and management of those who are now under the home care program. I am sad also to say that over those 24 hours, we have lost 4 more patients to the disease. Our total fatality is now 173, and my deepest condolences to all those who have lost their loved ones. In closing, I would like to remind our brethren in Mombasa one simple fact. If this virus was a physical enemy that came to attack you, we, the government, would have the capacity to protect you against it. If it was a physical enemy, if it was people who were attacking Mombasa, you would be sure that tanks would be roaring in the streets defending the people of Mombasa. We would send to you investigators, we would send to you the police to arrest any assailants that have posed a threat to you and your loved ones. But with COVID-19, the situation, unfortunately, is different. This enemy is an invisible one, and nobody in the government, not even the Minister for Health, not even the Governor of Mombasa, and for that matter, in his own words, not the President, can ensure that you are totally insulated from the disease. Only you can. Please remember that this virus has affected people in every village here in Mombasa and the entire country. Only you can avoid, only you can protect yourself, only you can isolate yourself as effectively as you can. Nobody else can. And you know, it's effort. It doesn't come easily. It doesn't just happen. It happens because you have exerted yourself to make sure that it is done. Mtaka cha mvunguni chati afanye nini? Chati ainame. So I want to say to our brothers, kama hata wale wanashongaga, inaitwa kushonga miraa. Inaitwa nini? Wajua sisi watu ambara pengine Kiswahili chetu si kile sanifu kabisa, lakini ile ni kuchonga, sio? Hiyo hata ukiwa unashonga miraa, tafadhali chukua kidogo, kaa mbali kidogo. Si lazima uwe kabisa karibu sana na yule mwingine. Si lazima, unaweza kaa kidogo na miraa itaingia tu vile kawaida yake. Vile inaingia ukiwa karibu, ndio inaingia ukiwa mbali kidogo. Hakuna tofauti. Kwa hivyo jameni, tafadhalini, ukiwa inaingia matatu, wewe angalia hiyo matatu iko namna gani. Ukiona imejaa, watu wanakaa kama sardines, usiingie hiyo gari. It's a choice. Kwa hivyo jameni, ukisikia watu wako usiku, wanacheza muziki katika bar, na hiyo maneno, Bwana Commissioner, unajua hivyo, the curfew is still on. And now that the police have got a bit of more time, you can be sure they are going to be very, very vigilant. So if I were you, I would not be out in the streets at 9 o'clock, particularly those who run entertainment centers, the bars. Tafadhalini, let's keep them closed. With the relaxation of some of the restrictions, the responsibility shifts to us. I can only plead that kwa sasa jameni, tujikinge na tukimbie sana kutoka kwa hii virusi. Na hiyo kukimbia kwake ni kufanya vile sisi tumesema. Na mimi nikiongea kama mzee, kwa sababu mimi sio kijana. Mimi nina watoto, nina mama, nina jirani. Na kwa sababu ingawa nina watoto wazima, mimi pia ni mtoto wa mtu. Si mimi pia ni mtoto wa mtu? Na ninaweza kumpelekea hata mama yangu naweza kumpelekea hiyo virusi. Mimi naweza kufanya hivyo. Nikianza kumkimbilia bila kufikiria, bila kumchunga, bila mask. Na mimi jana nilisema hivi kutoka huku kule Makweni. Nikauliza wenzangu, wakati wewe ukitoka Mombasa unaenda kumtembelea mama, ukienda huko Ukambani ama Ingo ama Nyeri ama wapi, ukibeba mkate na mafuta na sukari, vile vile beba sanitizer na beba mask umpatie, kwa sababu yeye ni vizuri anakunywa chai, anakula chakula ambayo imepikwa na hiyo mafuta, walakini usipomsaidia, usipofanya vile wilaya ya afya inasema, basi hiyo yote itakuwa kupoteza wakati. Pendane, na pale tunaweza tushungane kama familia moja ya taifa letu kuu la Kenya. Asanteni sana. I'm grateful to you, the people of Mombasa, na tuwaombea mema.
Thank you so much, Mheshimiwa Waziri. Now, to the members of the fourth estate, it's now your time to ask questions. Please remember to keep it short, your name and the media house that you represent. Don't ask too many so that the others can also get the opportunity to ask questions. Change, please.
Sorry, Kano. Before you, that is Kano Oguna. Kano Oguna mnamuelewa? Anazungumza sana, yeye ni spokesman wa serikali. Kabla hujafanya hivyo Kano, I would like also to inform the Mombasa people, I did not come here alone from the ministry. I came with a couple of friends from the ministry. Wengine mnawasikia, wengine mnawaona kwa TV. Kwa hivyo ni vizuri wakiwa hapa niwaonyeshe. Huyu mnamjua, huyu mrefu kuliko mimi. Huyu ni Dr. Amoth, anaye the acting DG, Director General for Health nchi yetu ya Kenya. Huyu hapo karibu iko na Bwana Kilu. Bwana Kilu ndio mkubwa wa mambo ya laboratory. Wajua hii virusi ni lazima inapelekwa lab. Lazima inapelekwa lab. Hiyo sample unashukuli, hiyo sample yako ikishukuliwa, si unaweka kitu kwa kwa mapua. It's a nice thing, it's a good experience. You should I don't want to discourage you. So yeah, hiyo kitu ufanye hiyo kitu, basi hiyo sample inapelekwa kwa Kilu, ndio anasema kama wewe uko positive ama uko negative, with the whole scientist that are led between him, Dr. Mamo na wale wengine. Alafu Nandiri, Dr. Nandiri ndio mkuu wa nurses katika hii nchi yetu ya Kenya. Vile vile mnajua Kas Mwangangi yuko hapo, Masi Mwangangi mnamuona kwa runinga, si ndio? Sasa iko hapa live. Haya, please proceed.
My name is Tobias Chanje from KTN News. I have 3 questions that I'll ask within 30 seconds. My first question, the head of state suspended political gatherings for 30 days and even suspended learning up to next year. But currently we have some of the constituents and wards that are supposed to do their by-elections and have been in a limbo since February this year. What is their fate? Then my second question, we've seen in the social media what has been trending about Robert Burale. And I wanted to ask if this guy, because some of the Kenyans have been saying that this guy has been paid to act. So my question is he an imposter? Please, you can clear on that. Then my third question, why is it that Mombasa has the highest rate of fatality? Thank you.
Okay. Please keep them short and few, not a whole shopping list, okay? Yes.
Okay, my name is Frederick Kai from K24 TV. First question, we would like to know the status of the ICU beds in Kenya. The second question, we would like to know if the government is overwhelmed with the positive cases that are taking out every day? And the third question on the issue of the capacity, maybe you tell us about how many ventilators we have also in Kenya. Thank you.
Okay. Jen, where are they? Okay, you. Okay.
My name is Winnie Atieno from Daily Nation in Mombasa. CS Kagwe, yesterday the CS Macharia said that we'll be demanding COVID certificate from international travelers. The other day you'd said we won't be demanding so. Why the change? And international practice, everyone is demanding COVID certificate. Question 2, how many home-based care are in coast region? Question 3, why is Mombasa recording a drop in positive cases? The other day, the county government said they stopped mass testing. Why did they stop mass testing? Lastly, why did the government withdraw collection of samples from Kemfree? Thank you.
Let me repeat again, kindly, please. Don't ask too many questions. Yeah, this one, and then, yeah, please.
Okay. I'm going to ask my friends to respond to some of those issues. In fact, the one about Mombasa, the home-based care in the coast, the issues to do with Mombasa. See, the CEC, the Deputy Governor is here. The CEC for Health is here. Why am I answering for them? They will answer for themselves. But as for political gatherings, we did indeed say that not just political gatherings, because when you say political gathering, it suggests that other gatherings are around, are cleared. No, they are not. Gatherings in general are a very serious infection sites, and we don't want that to happen. So the issue of by-elections, I think Kenyans are much more concerned about saving lives and securing their families than they are about by-elections, by and large. So at an appropriate time, in an appropriate way, it would be done. One of the things that has been done elsewhere is the use of technology, electronic voting and so on. It is being done elsewhere in the world. It is up to the board, the commission, the Electoral Commission, to determine how they would like to do that, and if they want to institute electronic voting so that people do not gather. But as far as the Ministry of Health is concerned, we do not want to see gatherings, essentially because of the increased levels of transmission that would occur if that were to happen. There is a question about somebody called Robert Murathe, who, Now, me, I never heard of this guy. You are saying he has been paid by who? I don't know who is supposed to have paid him. I don't know what he's doing. What is he doing? So my friend, when it comes to issues like rumors and so on, all over the place, if I were to respond to every rumor, I would be very, very busy. So I honestly don't know. I honestly don't know about this Robert guy, and I don't know who would have paid him and why he would be pretending. If you are not sick, why would you pretend that you are sick? The guy is probably sick, but you have decided that he is not. So let me leave that one out. The issue of fatalities in Mombasa, I think the difference is not that much. It is true that Mombasa has got the highest fatality rate in the country, but I think that it has probably got to do with also the intensity of infections in the county. In the county is also the highest, as I have said in my speech. And hopefully this is something that is going to reduce. Perhaps the DG will have something to say about that. Now, Atieno has a very important question regarding what seems like conflicting information. It actually is not conflicting. Let me explain. Yesterday, what happened is there was a meeting between the transport sector and the Ministry of Health to determine how we are going to open public transport, particularly following the cessation of movement in Nairobi, Mombasa, and other counties. And essentially also, the President had also announced that from the 1st of August, we will be considering opening up of the international space, air travel, if the situation at that time will be accommodating. So what CS Macharia was saying yesterday is that what we are hoping is that when we open the airspace on the 1st of August, please note, on the 1st of August, then there will probably be no certification required. But we have a protocol right now that is in place, and we have not waived that protocol. And the protocol is, you must be tested for COVID certification before you leave the country where you are in. Okay? You must have a negative certificate before you board the plane. And in fact, the airlines have got a form from the Ministry of Health that individuals fill before they board that says you will be tested, and when you get to Nairobi, you will be quarantined. Whether it is individual, whether it is home, or whether it is institutional, that is the current protocol, and that protocol has not changed. What has changed, and what we hope, is that it is going to change by the time we open international airspace, because hopefully by then we'll either have found a way of ensuring that if you are negative tested, that sustains itself. But so far, that is not the experience we have had. So I would like to clarify that, Atieno. I don't know whether I have, but I think that it is clear. That is what CS Macharia was talking about. And I had it myself, but somewhere along the line, it was taken to mean it is immediate. It is not. It is from the 1st of August. On the issue of home-based care, again, I'll leave the Mombasa government to respond for itself. And as far as our ventilators and the ICU beds, I will leave that to Dr. Amoth, who I would also like to invite to speak a little bit about the home-based care and some of the protocols that we would like to see in place as it expands, because ultimately that is what we are going to do. And as I do so, I also want to take this opportunity to appreciate that our institutions in the Ministry of Health have also been on board in assisting us to make sure that we manage the situation. You ask whether we think that with the positive cases the government has been overwhelmed. No, we have not. And part of the reason why we have not been overwhelmed is because of the repurposing of our institutions. And today here with us is the CEO of KMTC and the chairman of KMTC, national chairman of KMTC, who have been here with us, who are with us even yesterday. We are utilizing Kenya medical training colleges for purposes of isolation, for purposes of quarantine, and they have been extremely useful in doing so. Thank you very, very much for your support. Doctor, like, you want to go first? Yes, maybe you go first and...
Okay. The issue of stopping of the testing, that is really not the case, because we do about between 400 and 500 tests every day, and we've been consistent since we started mass testing in Mombasa. So that is the case. There are centers in which the people of Mombasa who feel that they exhibit some symptoms can go to for testing. So that is it's continuous, and it will go on until when we feel that this epidemic has been defeated. Yes.
Thanks, Wakili. Thanks, Excellency DG. Just a comment on ICU beds. Yes, we have ramped up our capacity for ICU beds. Before COVID, we had about 450 ICU beds for all Kenyan, the entire Kenyan population. But with the measures we have put in place, we have acquired an additional 483 ICU beds as at Saturday last week. In terms of ventilators, of course, the previous 450 ICU beds had 450 or thereabouts ventilators. For ventilators, as of last week, we had 513, and yesterday, Waziri, you were gracious enough to give an additional 5 to Makueni, so we are hitting the 520 mark or thereabouts. But that notwithstanding, is not a question of just machines. You also require human capital to be able to operate these machines. And also in terms of presentation of our cases, 90% of our cases are asymptomatic. And if you look at even those who are critical, as of today, we have 40 people in ICU. 20 of them are on ventilatory support and 20 on supplemental oxygen. So we are also putting a lot of emphasis on oxygen piping and cylinder oxygen for all facilities. And like yesterday in Makueni, we found an oxygen erecting facility that can not only serve the hospital, but also the surrounding counties. In terms of home-based care, yes, about 5-6 weeks ago, WHO gave guidelines on home-based care. This was premised on the fact that a sizable proportion of the patients with COVID-19 were actually asymptomatic and therefore did not require institutional care. So home-based care is basically care of somebody who is otherwise ill, but relatively stable in a home environment under the supervision of a trained healthcare worker. This is an intervention that we had deployed before during the HIV pandemic, and we did it successfully. Based on that, WHO advisory, our case management team looked at the guidelines from WHO and customized them to be able to fit our local situation. And I can highlight briefly what it entails for you to qualify for home-based care. One is that you must have a positive COVID-19 diagnosis based on a laboratory confirmation by PCR, polymerase chain reaction. Number two is that you must be asymptomatic. If you have a symptom, we'll take you to institutional care. Number three, you must not have any coexisting medical condition like diabetes, hypertension, cancer, or chronic lung or kidney disease, or any other chronic condition. Number four is that you must be able to have a room where you'll be able to stay during a base isolation period of 14 days. This room should be well ventilated, probably with a nice window where you can be able to stay throughout. You should have separate toilet and ablution facilities so that there is no risk of contamination of the rest of the family members. There must not be anybody in that family who is more than 60 years old or with a coexisting medical condition, like I've indicated. And then you must have a caregiver who can be able to check your temperature, who can be able to support you in cleaning, and who can be able to prepare your meals separate from the rest of the household in terms of the feeding, amongst many other measures that we put in place. So home-based care is not for everybody. It has to be used judiciously and cautiously, and that is why you saw the Mombasa numbers as at now, I think 355. Based on this, we developed a module of training for community health volunteers, and we have trained more than 60,000 community health volunteers as a frontline healthcare workers to be able to administer home-based care. And so far, the people who have gone for home-based care have done very well. We have not had a mortality from home-based care, and I'm not aware of any referral from home-based care to institutional care for people who qualify for home-based care. So it is with this in mind that we developed the guidelines and also ensured that we had a Kiswahili version, and we are appealing to the counties to be able to have an abridged version of the ABC of home-based care in the local dialect so that we have ownership. But home-based care also requires a lot of citizen responsibility. If you are to go for home-based care, then you must agree to abide by the rules and conditions that are put by the healthcare workers. We have also put in place a monitoring and evaluation system to be able to give us data on how the patients are progressing and how we can be able to do this better. Thank you.
Asante sana. In addition to the ventilators, that oxygen support devices that are here today, Your Excellency DG, we have also brought with us some oxygen support, two of them for you. We have also brought for your healthcare workers some 50,000 protective gloves for their use. including some 8,750 medical shoe covers. Daktari, you'll be happy to know there are KN95, 500 of them. We have come with them as well as some 1,207 face masks and some 50 coveralls and 125 goggles for your health workers. And if you need any more, please let me know.
Asante, sir.
We will support you.
No, please. Just hold on. You'll get your chance. Yes.
What is the Camry question?
Is Camry still tested there?
But people walking in to go for the testing. So Camry will still receive samples from all counties in the respective jurisdiction to be able to test. But nobody will be allowed to walk into Camry facility to seek for a test.
And you can understand why that would be the case. You know, where that's a lab. You know, that's a lab situation. So the possibility of infections, if people just walk in there, is very high. So it is to protect people that they did that. Maybe one or two questions, and then we give it the rest.
Good afternoon, Waziri. My first question is, there's a concern that with regards to those healthcare providers who are attending to other ailments, that they might be exposed to the virus, especially because they might be attending to asymptomatic carriers. And again, if that now the government is advocating for personal responsibility, it's interesting to know how is the government prepared in case of any flare-up in new infections. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes. Mtalaki.
Mtalaki kutoka Citizen TV. Swali mawili, moja ni kwa kaunti ya Mombasa. Umesema kwamba sampuli hamjapunguza kuziweza kuzichukua. Je, ni sababu zipi ambazo zimepelekea kupungua kwa maambukizi ambayo ama visa? Pili ni kwa waziri. Unapotangamana na baadhi ya wauguzi kutoka Pwani, wanasema kwamba yale marupurupu ambayo mliahidi kuwapatia bado hayajafikia. What happened?
Just one more, waziri. Just one more. Yes. Last one. What is the word?
Oh, okay.
My name is Toby Otung from Sunday Express. There was some fiasco in Jomvu, where the residents are protesting the issue of putting a testing kit in testing center at residents in Jomvu. Up to now, what is the position? Because the person was leading that protest was the MP for the area.
Would you like to go first, Governor?
Yes. Lile swali la zile allowance nimeelezwa kwamba zimefika kiwango cha 86 million kama sija 68 million imefika tayari. Kwa hivyo hapo naona kutakuwa hakuna shida. Swala la kwamba maambukizi yamepungua Mombasa, nafikiria ni ile mikakati ambayo tumeweka kama serikali ya kaunti ya Mombasa kuweza kujuza wananchi wa Mombasa kuweza kujikinga na janga hili la corona. Tumeweka mikakati maradufu na tunaona kwamba wananchi wanaweza kusikiza yale maagizo ya Wizara ya Afya, na kwa hivyo wameweza kujikinga kwa janga hili. Asante.
Thank you. As for the issue of the flare-up, Waziri, is it Waziri? You asked about in terms of the expectations in modeling. The modeling we have done is that what we are seeing today in terms of the numbers is exactly what we had expected to see. In fact, we said so some time back. We said so. We said that we expect the figures to go up, and that's what we are preparing for. And the reason why I am here today and the governor and his government are working so hard to expand the capacity that we have is exactly because of that. And what has happened elsewhere in the world, you also in Italy, in Spain, now in the United States, it's happening all over the world, and especially in Europe. The governments that were faced by this pandemic were almost unable to cope with it. And I don't know whether you will remember, the Italian Prime Minister at one time lifting up his hands and saying, as a government, we can no longer cope, now we have left it to God. I don't know whether you remember that incident. But what we are trying to do is ensure that we don't get there. We have had a longer warning than the Italians had. And therefore, what we would like to do is, if we observe the measures, if we are disciplined, we will not get there. I am hopeful, I am optimistic, and I am positive. We will not get there. We are not going to get to the position where we are carrying out mass funerals and mass burials using tractors to bury our dead, because there are so many that we can't cope. That is what happens by a runaway situation, has happened in Italy, has happened in New York, you know, and if it can happen in New York, you know, it can happen here. It goes without saying. So the idea is, why not prevent it? Why not just follow these very simple rules, very simple measures, which are good for you anyway. It's good for you to wash your hands. You know, it's good for you. It's good for you to stay away from a guy who is sneezing. It's good for you. You know, all these things are things that are good for you. And I know, yes, we like to shake hands and, you know, and hug and do all the good things that we do. But just for a while, let's leave it. Let's leave it for a while, you know, just to save ourselves for now. So if we do that, there will be no flare-up. However, the reverse, let's be honest, is also true. That it can go the other way around if we are not listening and we are not following the measures that have been given. So I also want to add, I think it's Pande of Express who had asked the question, and I'm glad that hiyo marupurupu imepatikana. Hata ile ingine sisi tulisema, ya health workers, we have allocated 3.4 billion shillings.